Surprises me how clean you people keep your spaceports. If this were Hutta, I'd be scraping alien gunk off my boots. Of course, if this were Hutta, I couldn't be thrown into prison for spitting the wrong way. So come on, Agent. You're going to welcome me here to the Imperial homeworld?
I'm surprised you've never been here before.
I avoid Imperial space. I want to die in a cantina fight, not ticking off some bureaucrat. Anyway, let's head down to the city. Keeper wanted us to see the Citadel. I'm guessing it won't be hard to find.
Don't worry. This should be fun.
Now let's go meet your bosses.
I have kids to feed.
Imperial law bends for no man.
I have credits.
You dare bribe a servant of the Empire?
I didn't...
Enough. Officer, show our friend some Drummond Cast hospitality.
7 brutal, bloody murders. 7! And the killer is allowed to walk free? Decent, law-abiding citizens, loyal servants of the Emperor, are being slaughtered. And what do our security forces do? Nothing. I've seen the killer myself, but the authorities say I don't have enough proof. I demand justice.
Why are you yelling at me?
You haven't heard about the horrible murders, ghastly crimes, and I know who committed them. Several days ago, I spotted a bounty hunter following people seemingly at random, but pointing a strange device at them. The descriptions of the murder victims exactly match the people the hunter was following. He's behind these brutal killings, I know it.
He needs to be stopped.
Well, what a relief. I've been trying to get someone, anyone, to listen to me for days. I followed the killer this morning. Saw the filthy alien skulking into the Mandalorian enclave. Someone called him by name, Renegan. This bounty hunter must learn the Empire doesn't tolerate alien scum like him killing its citizens. He needs to be punished.
You are a powerful figure on the galactic stage. Powerful figures attract powerful enemies. Shield yourself from your enemies. Broaden your sphere of influence. Wield your prosperity as a weapon. Accomplish all of this and more with strongholds. Procure a location from across the galaxy to construct your new power base. Adorn your stronghold in stunning opulence. And immerse yourself in gratification as the seething resentment and abject fear of your adversaries wash over you. Be ever in service to the Empire. Show your worth. Brandish your power. Secure a stronghold now.
This is not your domain, Keeper. It is mine. It has always been mine.
Of course, my lord.
All you have built here, all you hope to control, it falls apart as easily as a human life. An hour ago, the Minister of Intelligence dropped to his knees and wept before me. You would do so too, if not for fear of being humiliated.
Your dissatisfaction is clear, my lord. It will be remedied. Now I'm asking you humbly to leave. These people are suffering in your presence.
I will leave my domain at the moment of my choosing, Keeper. You, Agent, you were the one sent to Hutta. Is that correct?
That's correct, my lord.
I am Darth Jadus. You served me well in your dealings with Nemro. You will serve me well again.
How do you mean, exactly?
All will become clear in time. Keeper, you will use this one. He will complete the assignment as I have instructed.
He's quite capable, my lord, but he lacks experience. A more seasoned agent?
I have made my decision. I wish the situation resolved before I leave Drummond Cast. See to it that my will is done.
Very well. I'll make arrangements. Congratulations, Agent. You've made a friend on the Dark Council. I don't envy you.
Believe me, sir, it wasn't by choice.
I imagine not, but there's nothing to be done about it now. I want you outfitted and ready to leave as soon as possible. Grab your equipment from the lockers and meet me in my office. Once we're through with your debriefing, we'll discuss your next mission. Come in, Agent. Let's talk. Kaleo, wait outside, please. One of the watchers will handle your debriefing.
We need to talk about my terms.
I promise you'll be well compensated. You can discuss the details with the watcher.
If you say so. You two have a good time.
Sir, I've been reviewing the report of your activities on Hutta. You were busier than I'd expected.
Is that a problem, sir?
That's what I'd like to figure out. You were extremely effective in your mission, and I'm impressed by your efficiency. You used violence as a tool and not a crutch. Not many agents find that balance so easily. So I wonder, why did you join Imperial Intelligence?
I joined to serve the Empire and its people.
Idealistic sentiments. A pity in some ways. You may find yourself disappointed. This isn't glamorous work. We're sanitation workers. We clean up after the military and the Sith and do the jobs no one else will. Without us, though, the Empire falls apart. So we do whatever is necessary, even if it's thankless and ugly. You understand?
I understand completely, sir.
I'm glad to hear it. Now, as to your next assignment. One of the mandates of our organization is to eliminate dissidents and terrorists within the Empire. We've located one cell of radicals here in the capital working toward the violent overthrow of our government. We must know precisely what these terrorists plan.
Do we know anything more about them? Their goals?
Very little. They're unsatisfied with Imperial policies, but they're not anarchists or Republic stooges, at least so far as we know. We've intercepted chatter suggesting the radicals are planning a major attack soon, but we've only identified a handful of cell members. You will investigate the cell and obtain its plans. You'll have 2 operatives assisting you and full support from the Citadel.
Kaleo and I worked well together on Hutta. I'd like to use her again.
I think that can be arranged. Watcher 2, please come to my office. Bring Darth Jadus with you.
Watcher 2, huh? That's a pretty name. Is it Twi'lek?
It's basic. Unlike many civilizations, the Empire teaches its children how to count. Watcher 2 reporting, sir.
Kaleo will be your aide in the field. She'll report to you and take your orders, since you seem able to handle her.
I'm making you look good, Agent. You should be grateful.
Meanwhile, Watcher 2 will be your liaison to base. She'll stay in contact remotely and provide you with mission details.
I monitored the operation on Hutta. Very impressive. I look forward to working with you.
It'll be my pleasure. Just my luck I managed to catch your Watcher's eye.
I'm the product of 6 generations of selective breeding. I can plot hyperspace routes in my head. I'm not easily charmed, at least not while on duty.
If you're done, could you sum up the present situation?
Our primary lead on the radicals is at the site of a slave rebellion beyond Kars City. You've been outfitted with all necessary equipment already. Once you're in the field, signal me via holocommunicator and I'll brief you in full.
You said I'm heading into a slave rebellion.
We have troops cordoning off the area, but you should still be on your guard. We'll talk more on site.
Remember, you're not undercover. Identify yourself as an intelligence officer if you need to, and use the fear that it creates. You're on Imperial soil now, Agent. Welcome home.
Agent, I'm pleased to see you, of course. But I thought you'd be busy with the mission. Just as well, I suppose. I'm still plotting the details. So, what can I do for you?
I figure if we're working together, we should get to know one another.
I already know all about you, though. I saw your whole performance on Hutta. If we talked and shared, you'd be the only one learning from the exchange. And that wouldn't really be fair now, would it?
I can't tell if you're kidding or not.
Probably for the best. You don't need to understand me. Just let me be the voice in your head, and I'll tell you where you need to go. Now, we've both got work to do. Contact me via holocommunicator when you're on site and ready to go, okay?
Anything for you, beautiful.
Don't call me that again. I'll see you later.
Jukaki mem panino, am kabina pek memno kimgam, nuk ino memno, am kakam mem perolak palak.
What is it you do around here?
Moraka kemyu am kam nemno, namgan bak nok kijak, bomogala apayang. Nelama ini amka amga.
Interesting. What kind of profiling?
Ikupnaya nelama, yakitam guana, alemaga apaka. Memua pemguana, kumia yang mem gamba paka.
Oh, hello. Sorry, I didn't expect you to come over. You're the field agent from Hutter, right? I'm Watcher 3.
How'd you end up working with Imperial Intelligence?
They recruited me. I used to work under the Ministry of Logistics, managing Holonet security. Intelligence wasn't exactly my dream job, but I wasn't going to turn Keeper down. Surprised I even got a Watcher designation. If I can manage it, I'm sure you'll get a title soon.
How many Watchers are there, anyway?
Only Keeper knows for sure. I've never met a Watcher with a designation higher than 4. Watcher 1's on assignment right now, so it's just me and Watcher 2 here. Anyway, I should get back to work. I'm on surveillance duty, and I don't want to miss anything.
Good man. Make sure that you don't.
Of course. I won't keep you.
You're the new blood? We'll see if you work out. I used to be a field operative, same as you. Now I'm a fixer. I keep this place running.
Why'd you stop working in the field?
Wasn't by choice. I was a good agent until a Jedi shoved a lightsaber through my lungs. That service. That sacrifice. People here will tell you that the Sith interfere with our work. Keepers always fighting with the Minister of Intelligence, that sort of thing. Maybe they're right, but it doesn't matter. Our job's to obey orders. Our job's to deal with the enemy.
And who do you consider to be our enemy?
The Empire has a lot of enemies. The Republic and Jedi first up. We should focus on getting them, not fighting one another. Remember that, and maybe you'll last longer than most new agents.
It's been good talking to you, Fixer.
Yeah, you too.
What do you think they want?
I don't know. When you get a summons from Imperial Intelligence, you don't ask questions.
It must be about that customer last week. I knew it. Nobody buys that much ration paste unless they're up to something.
And who sold him all that ration paste, eh?
The same person who hid a tracer in the box. Just in case.
I take it back. When they call us in, you should ask if they're hiring.
I've got a shuttle to catch. You mind getting out of my way?
Fleeing the scene of your crimes, Rennigan?
Just my luck. 10 seconds later and I would have been off this blasted planet. You've been listening to Wrightson. Great. Listen, I didn't murder anybody. I was just hired to tag some random citizens, that's all.
You admit you're mixed up in these brutal murders, then?
No! I never touched any of those victims. My clients did all the killings. I was hired by a group of Sith to organize games for them. Didn't realize what that meant until bodies started piling up. When I confronted them, they laughed. Said Sith have a birthright to hunt lowlives. It's like a sport to them.
There's no telling what will give a Sith pleasure.
And that's why I'm trying to get as far away from Drummond Koss as possible. I'm in over my head and too many people are watching me now, so I can't even leave. I need help, and I'm willing to pay for it. You interested?
Tell me what I can do for you.
I just want this problem to go away, and I only see 2 ways for that to happen. Either get rid of the loudmouth pointing fingers at me, or end that sick game the Sith are playing.
I think your clients need to find a new hobby.
Works for me. I'll have a plan that'll get them so good, no one will have to worry about fallout. Take this hunter tag. Use it on Sith acolytes all around the city. The acolytes will become my clients' new targets. Don't worry. I'll make sure they survive. Come back when you're done, and I'll pay you. My clients already ambushed one of the acolytes you tagged. Wish I could have been there. Attacking Sith is a major crime, even for other Sith. I sent the authorities an anonymous tip to watch the acolytes closely. When my clients jumped the ones you tagged, they were arrested and executed. Best work I've done in a long time.
Ever consider a career in intelligence work?
And give up all this excitement? No thanks. My loudmouth friend ought to shut up, now that the killers have been caught. That should make life easier. Here, take these credits. Couldn't have pulled this off without you. See you around, friend.
Uptola, dupatwana dwana wanki slimo pod yukata janga. Naka noya choski, noyo kochuso te mate chichoya. Ukili, baklunki na atabumpa pushuda.
I'm not following you.
Naka noya choski, noyo kochuso te mate chichoya. Chupolo, awona kopotomte tak makechisa. Kiko ubakili, wata bunga dunko, putoga wata.
What's in this for me?
Ni umpi putamala, pedwana nibo chi chichupa gumba. Esupuda nupa junki, faguta ji uta vukise.
We have an agreement.
Chiho lukuta, chubu ikatsfu, undole. Bafupa giwanta humpa, muli rabamba hula.
Exactly as reported. A Degree 6 revolt, population equivalent to the Duros uprising on Zilior. Subjects occupy a moderate radius of jungle. Good. Good. I recognize you from my dealings with Imperial intelligence. I am Lord Drowl. When the Empire encounters resistance on its conquered worlds, they call me. I'm here to end the slave uprising on Drum and Cass.
I wasn't aware there was a slave revolt going on.
Very soon there won't be. You can assist me in ending it. The situation is this. A Sith Lord was constructing a colossal statue of himself in the jungle. His slaves revolted and armed themselves. The Colossus remains unfinished, and well-armed slaves now control the jungle. An embarrassment for the Empire, but an opportunity for me.
What can these renegade slaves possibly provide you?
Test subjects, of course. A means of perfecting my techniques. I'm testing a toxic weapon, a poison called Quell. Its victims experience a prolonged state of agonizing pain before finally dying. The victims' allies are so horrified by Quell's effects they lose their wills to resist. At least that's what I intend to prove.
It sounds very noble.
Yes. Cowing the masses is a complex art. It requires a great deal of fine-tuning. I need someone to introduce a controlled amount of Quell into the slaves' water supply, so that I can determine the proper dosage. The work is dangerous, there will be armed slaves everywhere, but your success will be well rewarded. What do you say?
I'm at home dealing death from the shadows.
Indeed. The most effective agents of the Empire are the ones who work behind the scenes. My assistant, Sergeant Slerin, will recommend the correct dosage of Quell and give you a supply. See him at the research tent.
If I know Lord Drowl's tastes, which unfortunately I do, he sent you for the Quell toxin.
I'm helping him put down the slave revolt.
Do you truly understand what he's asked you to do? What if I told you this experiment is pointless? That past studies have shown increased suffering has no impact on the speed of surrender? This has nothing to do with accelerating the end of a rebellion. Lord Drowl simply takes perverse thrill in gratuitous suffering.
I'm sure Lord Drowl wouldn't appreciate these comments.
Don't get me wrong, Lord Drowl is very good at what he does, but he lets his personal bents impede our efficiency. I want this assignment over with. The faster this rebellion ends, the faster I'll be reassigned to more important work. Serving Lord Drowl's bloodlust has stunted my career. If not for his inefficiency, I'd be a captain by now.
Can't you simply get reassigned somewhere else?
I can't go over Lord Drowl's head. He'd have mine on a pole if I tried anything. Lord Drowl's dosage of Quell toxin will have slaves writhing in agony for pointless weeks, during which this area will remain volatile. I've prepared a dose that will kill the slaves efficiently, which is better for the Empire and for me. Will you deliver my dosage instead?
I want these renegade slaves to pay for disobeying the Empire.
You're not merely prolonging the slaves' agony, but my own as well. Committed to your work, aren't you? Very well. Take the Quell toxin and inject it into the slave camp's water filtration systems. See Lord Drowl for your payment when you're done.
You delivered the exact results I hoped for. Quell is like an imbibed torture device infesting those rebel slaves. It's exhilarating to see the effects on the survivors who can only stand by and watch helplessly.
I trust you'll share your research findings with Imperial intelligence.
Naturally. Anything for my fellow servants of the Emperor. Quell toxin will be a great asset to the Empire. Uprisings will end painfully and decisively. You've earned your reward, my friend. Now go. I have horror and despair to observe and chronicle.
Watcher 2 here. I'm receiving your signal. Mapping your location now. Glad you made it through the jungle safely, Agent. Ready to work?
I'm ready. Just standing by for the details.
You may have noticed the chaos out there. There's a slave rebellion going on, and you're heading into the middle of it. Our analyst charged with monitoring the rebellion is with me. His name is Lodenth Kashar. He can fill you in on the details.
How did the rebellion start? What's really going on?
Imperial intelligence is leaving concerns about the rebellion itself to the military. You're here for a specific slave, an alien named Jurithus.
Are we talking about a violent extraction, killing rebel slaves?
Don't make this difficult, Agent. Jurithus was once owned by an anti-government radical who used slaves to carry messages to like-minded dissidents.
Have we questioned the slave's former master?
He's gone. Dead at the hands of an over-enthusiastic agent. That's why Minder 4 is no longer with us.
One way or another, I'll make sure he talks.
And that's why it's useful to have an alien on staff. In any case, good luck.
Can I get a kiss before I go?
Sorry, but my holocom doesn't have that feature. Maybe when the network is upgraded. You should find your targets inside the camp. Take a slave down, apply the serum, and locate Jurithus. This is the only way we can learn what the radicals are planning. Time's running out, Agent.
Hey, Imperial. How's it going? Seeing as how you're already killing slaves and causing a fuss, how'd you like to make a pile of credits?
I can spare a minute.
So Darth Valron is on the Dark Council, and his apprentice, Lord Ket, wants to advance, so he starts building a giant statue to his master. But Lord Ket doesn't want his master to know, so he brings in slaves from off-world. Slaves rebel, and we get this mess.
Buy cheap slaves and get a rebellion. Everyone knows that.
Here's where it gets complicated. Lord Ket wants to save face, but secretly. He calls in me and my mercs. By the time we get here, the slaves have captured some giant industrial drills, and they're getting ready to bring down the whole giant statue. Our best team goes in with explosives to blow up the drills. Slaves kill every last one. Got a pile of credits for anyone who grabs those explosives, hooks them to a giant drill, then fights off slaves until the explosives detonate.
Look at them out there. They're like animals. Hundreds of slaves with no one to command them and without a thought in their minds as to what to do with their freedom. Like I said, the slaves are animals. But we've noticed strange behavior in the pack. And my superiors want to know more. Some of the slaves are killing each other. We don't know if they're mad or hungry, desperate, or if there's a faction of slaves who've turned on the rest.
I can see how a slave civil war would prove useful.
Exactly what the higher-ups are saying. That the killers could potentially be manipulated. We know that the killings are ritualistic. The murderous slaves come in the night, stab their foes, and paint themselves in blood. If you could investigate, catch them in the act and take them down, maybe you could find a clue to their motives.
I'll share any information I turn up.
Look for any slave who's turned on his peers. With luck, he'll lead us to answers.